Showtime Championship Boxing, and I'm really here to let you know that Showtime Championship Boxing is back, and our first telecast of the new year will come your way next Saturday, January 23rd, and it features one of the most anticipated junior featherweight bouts. You've got the champion, the WBO junior featherweight champion, Angelo, who is unbeaten, taking on the unbeaten challenger, Stephen Fulton Jr., or as he goes by, Cool Boy Steph. It is presented by Premier Boxing Champions, and you, of course, can see that telecast and this event live on Showtime Championship Boxing, January 23rd. It will be live from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. It comes your way at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time. The fight will be promoted by Mayweather Promotions and TGB Promotions, and it will be the main event, the culmination of really a free fight card, 3 meaningful fights from top to bottom on this fight card. In fact, the co-main features 2 really sensational, unbeaten fighters, as the unbeaten 122-pound contender Rais the Beast Alim takes on the unbeaten Vic Pacius, who is a hard-punching lefty. And these 2 will be fighting for the interim WBA title. Really, this is a meaningful fight because the winner of that fight automatically will fight for the world title in their next fight. So a really meaningful co-main. And then we begin the night with the rising Rolly Romero, who will be putting his interim WBA title on the line against Justin Paldo. It is a 12-round bout. And again, another meaningful fight as those guys look to climb up the ranks and become the regular world champion. 3 fights, but the big one, of course, the main event, the champ, Angelo, taking on Cool Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton Jr., a fight that was originally supposed to take place in August. Now it is taking place, one of the first fights of 2021. Let me introduce some of the promoters, obviously, for this fight. Let's start with the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. Here is Leonard Ellerby.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for everyone for joining the call. In this main event, Leo versus Fulton, it is a hot fight. It is a highly anticipated fight that we've been waiting for and the fans have been waiting for ever since it was announced. And this is a fight, like Brian just mentioned, is a very, very meaningful fight for the division. The 122-pound division is probably the hottest division right now in boxing, right along with the lightweight division, because you have a number of fighters with great matchups that you can mix and match. But this fight right here with Leo and Fulton, everyone is anticipating this fight and everyone will be tuned in for this fight. You have Angelo Leo coming off of his tremendous victory against Jermaine Williams to win the WBO title. And that in that particular fight, that was his coming out party. Although he's fought on Showbox, a few other fights, but this was his coming out party. He was really, really impressive, and he made a big statement. And when it comes to Stephen Fulton, he definitely doesn't lack confidence. And that's the one thing that I do love about him. He's young, undefeated, he's talented, and he feels very, very confident. He's let the world know that this will be his easiest payday to date. He feels as though that he's going to walk right through Angelo Leo. That's what makes for great fights. You have 2 young, undefeated fighters coming together, fighting in their prime. And that's really, really what it's all about. And it's a fight where Angelo Leo, with he being the world champion, Stephen Fulton is a slight favorite. You know, so again, this is a very, very good matchup. And we have a great co-main event. And then we're going to open the broadcast with Mayweather Promotions' own with Rolando Romero taking on Justin Paldo. And that's going to be a very, very exciting fight. Rolly is coming off a less than impressive fight in his last bout. So he'll be looking to make a big statement out there for the fans. And again, from top to bottom, this is a terrific card. And we're excited that all the fans will be tuning in. Can't wait.
All right. Thank you, Leonard. That's great. And, you know, one thing you do know about Mayweather Promotions, they match their fighters tough. If you're under that Mayweather Promotions banner, you earn it. They certainly put you in high quality matchups. That's exactly what we've got on January 23rd. Let me bring in now the president of TGB Promotions. He can talk to you about the rest of the undercard. And listen, this man's a Hall of Famer, and he's sitting in a Hall of Famer for matchmaking because he was one of the best in the business of putting high quality matches together. Here's Tom Brown.
Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. You know, once again, Showtime is delivering on its promise to provide the fans with the most exciting and meaningful fights. And quickly on the main event, you know, as you mentioned, Brian, one of the things that Mayweather Promotions prides itself on and should be applauded for is the development of their young fighters. They put them in tough, and they put them in tough early on. Now you look at a kid like Stephen Fulton's record, you won't find many young fighters that have been as tough and as against some impressive competition as Fulton has. You know, 8 of his victories out of his 18 wins are over undefeated fighters. So, you know, it's very impressive, and he's coming to grab what he believes is his and should have been his back in August. So we have a great main event. And then the co-feature is the fight that I'm really excited about with Rais Salim and Victor Pasillas. This is a very important matchup of legitimate contenders in a 50-50 fight between 2 undefeated prospects in the hot 122-pound division. Both fighters have made it clear that they want the lead of the division, and they're willing to put it all on the line January 23rd to make that happen. So the winner of this fight really and 0, 11 KOs. He's big, strong, aggressive, and undefeated. He's got great footwork, great defense, and he's an all-action fighter. He's coming off a very impressive TKO victory in his last fight. It was a rematch with Marcus Bates, and Aleem just bullied him later in the fight to get that TKO victory. And Victor Pasillas, another undefeated, 16-0 with 9 KOs. He was a decorated amateur standout. He had close to 300 amateur fights out of a southpaw stance. And his style reminds me of a bit of a young Hector Camacho. He's coming off a very impressive win back in September over an undefeated prospect. He moved up to featherweight to help us out. And it was a real show-stealing, statement-making performance. So I got a feeling, once again, he and Aleem could be another show-stealing type performance with this fight. And Leonard mentioned a little bit about Raleigh. I've always been a big fan of Raleigh, and all of his fights. He's got a real tough one, Justin Paldo, in front of him. You know, they always say styles make fights. Well, Paldo's got a style to really give Raleigh some fits and can pull off the victory here. He's got a tremendous jab. He's in great shape. He's down in Houston training with Ronnie Shields, and he's coming to win. So I think out of the 6 feature fights, we have maybe, one loss, only one loss between all of them. So we're going to see some of those go here on the 23rd. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And, you know, this is the beauty of this card, because from top to bottom, you're getting quality. And let's talk about, of course, the main event, world title fight, first title defense for Angelo. And let's talk about his challenger first. The young man out of West Philadelphia, Stephen Fulton Jr., 18-0. 8 of those wins have come by knockout. He's 26 years young, was originally supposed to face Leo, and this was back in August when this fight was going to happen. And then obviously, Cool Boy Step came down with COVID-19, and this fight now taking place here in January. He is rated #1 by the WBO, unbeaten. And as you heard Tom talk about, he has a knack of knocking off unbeaten fighters. And in fact, he feasts on that and loves that he has been matched tough. You know, listen, his last outing, you saw him on Showtime, and he just dominated Arnold Haggai on his way to that unanimous decision. That was in January of last year on Showtime. So here he is, cool boy Steph, Stephen Fulton. Stephen, talk to us about how camp is going and your thoughts on this fight.
How y'all doing? First of all, I'd like to thank Al Heyman, Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerby, the whole Showtime crew, Steven Espinoza, Chris, Tom Brown. I'd like to thank all of y'all first and foremost because y'all all checked up on me during one of the moments in my life where I felt down after losing out on the opportunity in August. So I definitely would like to thank all of you first and foremost. January 23rd is going to be fireworks. He's a champion. He has that spark, that fire in him. He's coming to fight. I'm coming to fight. I'm coming hungry. We both coming hungry. So it's going to be a great matchup. I feel as though the fight is actually a little bit underrated because we're smaller guys, but me and him are the two top guys in the division. We're like the top five of including the world champ, the current world champs. So we're definitely going to make noise, and we both come to fight. We both have a chip on our shoulder. I feel like we both have something to prove. This fight is one of the biggest fights in the division. So I'm just ready to get it on. And once again, thank all of y'all for checking up on me during that down moment in my life, and appreciate y'all.
All right. Listen, it's great that you're healthy, ready to roll. Obviously, a big opportunity in your life is coming your way next Saturday. I know it's going to be a phenomenal. And let me just say this, Steph. If anybody is sleeping on how big this fight is, it's the reason why you're the main event coming next weekend. So, no, this is a big one from top to bottom. Let me introduce the champion now. Angelo Leo, 20-0. 9 of his victories have come by knockout. Of course, he is 26 years young, just like Stephen from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He defeated Tremaine Williams. You saw that. In fact, he was the first fight from when we started the bubble there at Mohegan Sun Arena. It was Angelo Leo who set the tone for us when he won his WBO title on Showtime. He won it by unanimous decision, became the first champion from his hometown, obviously, of Albuquerque, New Mexico, since Johnny Tapia. He fights out of that Mayweather stable. Here is the champ, Angelo Leo. Champ, you have the floor.
How's it going, guys? Thank you guys for having me. I want to thank Mayweather Promotions, TGB, Premier Boxing, and all the Showtime crew for putting this fight together. It's going to be a great fight. I know Fulton's coming to fight. I'm coming to fight. It's going to be a great fight, you know, two contrasting styles, sort of like the East Coast, West Coast thing. So it's going to be, you know, fireworks, you know, just it's going to be one of the best fights, I think, this year. Hey, let's just see. January 23rd, it's going to be a great fight.
All right, champ. Appreciate it. By the way, I'm going to ask you guys just a few questions for members of the media. Since you guys are watching, I know you want to ask these guys some questions. All you got to do is hit the raise your hand bar, and Chris de Blasio will acknowledge you. I'm going to ask these guys a couple of questions before we get to some of the media questions for you guys. And Champ, let me start with you, because as you heard Leonard allude to it, you know, on paper, a number of people say this is a 50-50 fight. But according to Vegas, where you reside now, Fulton is the slight favorite. Are you surprised or are you offended by that?
No, I'm not surprised at all. You know, I know Fulton has a lot of supporters, but I've been an underdog before. You know, I've been in these shoes before, so it's no surprise to me, and it just gives me more fuel to the fire.
Are you offended at all by that?
No, not at all. You know, this is boxing, and you know, Fulton is a good fighter, but you know, I'm looking to prove something January 23rd, that I belong where I belong, and
something to prove to the world on January 23rd?
Of course. You know, I have a lot to prove. This is just the beginning for me. So I have a lot of doubters that are doubting me. I'm the underdog, so it's just all fuel to the flame.
Stephen, was it frustrating, you know, not just watching Angelo fight for the title back in August, but was there a part of you that kind of thought that you not only lost a chance, but you could sort of lost a chance maybe indefinitely because the nature of the sport always changes? Did you feel like you may have lost that potential title fight back then?
Yep, that's why I was crying.
Well, you seem, I'm glad that you're in much better spirits and you got the fight. Do you sort of view that now, looking back, as a sort of blessing in disguise, as getting now that you've gotten over the hump mentally, but also had more time to prepare for Angelo?
Oh yeah, it is a blessing. And honestly, it's a blessing that we have a great team like we have, of those I've stated, to give thanks to be able to make this possible once again.
Thanks, Angelo and Stephen. Best of luck to the both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Carlos. Let's go to Sochi Hayashi with Yahoo Sports out of Japan. Sochi, can you hear us? Stand by while we try to get Sochi to unmute.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now, yes.
Okay. Yes, just one question to Angelo. Do you have any particular emotion about Johnny Tapia, your hometown champion?
Yeah, I do. Johnny was he's the pride and joy of Albuquerque, and he's one of the greatest fighters from that city. And to be mentioned with his name is an honor. Johnny Tapia was a real good people, very charismatic, and he showed everybody love.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sochi. Let's try Michael Rueda with Sunday Puncher. Michael?
Hey, sorry, it's 26 Sports, not sorry about that.
Excuse me. No, my fault, Michael. Go ahead.
No problem. All right, so I got two questions. One's gonna be for Steven first. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Leonard, Steven, Tom, Brian. But for Steven, my question for you is, in the original moment, you had the title opportunity. You come down with COVID. Now you get another opportunity here. Has it hit you yet that it's a world title shot, or has it kind of calmed down now that it's pretty much the second time that you're getting this fight?
I wouldn't say that it all the way calmed down. It just made me more calmer dealing with training and everything. It just made like, all right, this is normal. I've been preparing for this the first time. Let's just get this done. Let's just get the job done now. And that's what happened.
So any anxiety or anything like that, nervousness has pretty much left your system for it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Perfect. All right. And I'm glad to see you doing better and in good spirits as well, man.
Thanks.
All right. And for Angelo, now you won the title. Of course, the original fight was with Stephen Fulton, but you performed really well against Tremaine Williams. Now that you have this fight again, pretty much the same question. Do you have any anxiety or nervousness, or now that you have the belt, has that pretty much left your system as well?
Yeah, no anxiety at all. Not at all. I've been working to fight Fulton for, I would say, since May or June. So everything, all the game plan we worked on, is all coming more natural. So come fight night, it'll be a good fight.
Perfect. And actually, Sochi stole my question about Johnny Tapia for you. So, it kind of took my second question. But either way, man, thank you guys for having me on here. Great call so far, and hope the best for both you. And again, Steven, man, I'm happy that you're recovered and ready for this fight. And Angelo, looking forward to it as well.
All right.
Thank you, Michael. Beg your pardon on that affiliation. Let's go to John Kudney with Sunday Puncher, also representing Reddit Boxing. John, can you unmute and go?
I'm unmuted. I think I'm good here.
There you are. Yeah, thank you.
Great. So this is a question for both of you. I'll direct to Angelo first, the champ. You guys are both young and undefeated. A lot of young fighters are reluctant to take risks. Just want to hear what it means to you to take this risk at this point in your career, especially since you already won the title. If you had any reluctance to go into the Stephen Fulton fight, or if you had any option to take a different fight after winning the title.
No, actually, this fight had. I think I'd signed the contract already after. Before 2 days before I fought Tremaine Williams, that I was going to fight Fulton after. So I've always knew that he was the next opponent for me. And this fight is great for boxing. You got two undefeated fighters, both in their prime. What more do you want from two fighters in this boxing and in this era?
Great, thanks. Same question, Stephen, about being a young fighter. I know you've already faced a bunch of young undefeated fighters, but still interested hearing what you have to say about that. What what it means at this point in your career to take this kind of risk, and where you hope to stand coming out of this fight.
I mean, no risk, no reward, and I don't think this is a risk. This is an opportunity. He's the world champ. Gotta respect that. This is not a risk at that point. The risk I was taking was fighting those other undefeated fighters, or the risk I was taking was how I got here. But there's no risk once you're fighting a champion. This is what it is now. So, but I feel great, and I'm respect everybody and ready to fight.
Okay, one more question here. So, again, to Angelo first. So the sport of boxing has a great, exciting wave of young fighters coming in, guys like Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. I could list many more. Are you hoping after this fight to be, if you aren't already, among that group of guys? I mean, can you talk about your ambition, what kind of statement you're trying to make with this performance?
With this performance, I plan to just, let everybody know that I'm here to stay. That I think a lot of people are doubting me just because I fought Tremaine Williams, and they say it was a 3-day notice, but he was getting ready for a fight as well. So I got a lot of doubters. I want to prove them wrong. And in this fight, I think I'll have the opportunity to.
Very good, thanks. Stephen, same question. With the wave of hot young fighters in the sport, what are people going to be saying about you coming out of this fight?
Honestly, I am in that wave. They just ready for me to stamp it by getting this belt. They have that superstar quality. It's just in me. So after this fight, it's just going to already solidify what we already knew.
Okay, thanks a lot, both of you. I love the confidence on both sides. Good luck to you both.
Thanks.
Okay, John, thanks a lot. Let's just have a last question. Time for one more here. Let's go to Marcos Villegas, Fight Hub. Marcos?
Thanks, Chris. This question is both to Stephen and Angelo. But Stephen, I got to ask before I ask the question, that statue there, what is that?
That's Einstein.
Okay, I thought it was Einstein. Yeah. Einstein's a fascinating guy, so props to you on that. I love Einstein. So Stephen and Angelo, and I can start with you, Stephen. When you look at your division, to you guys, what is the marquee fight you feel to make in your division? And I'll start with you, Stephen.
This one right now, once we get past this is the marquee fight for me. I have to get this first. I have to. Moving forward, we need unification belts. It don't matter whichever belt holder. It don't really matter.
Angelo?
But if I had to pick one, sorry about that. If I had to pick one, I will go for the one who got all the belts, MJ. But if not, Louis Neri.
And Neri would be an awesome fight for either or. But Angelo, what do you make of that? What do you see as like the marquee fight? If you get past this, what's the one fight do you feel in the division that really is the marquee fight?
Like Fulton said, this is the marquee fight right here. Two undefeated fighters, two contrasting styles. So this is the fight right here to see. But unification bouts with MJ or Luis Neri.
Excellent. Certainly, I hope those are possible. Whoever wins the fight, that'd be great to see that. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate that, and wish you a healthy rest of your guys' camps.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Marcos. That's it for press questions. Let's go back to you, Brian Custer.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. I want to thank all the media members for joining us and just want to give you a reminder. Look, it's the main event. Showtime Championship Boxing coming your way January 23rd from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. It will be
That's how you say it.
first fight of the year for Showtime Championship Boxing, and you can't get a better main event than the WBO Junior Featherweight title. Angelo Leo, the champion, making his first title defense against the unbeaten Stephen Fulton Jr. Cool boy Steph. It is presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions as well. A 3-fight card. And of course, Leo, Fulton Jr., they're the main event. The co-main, Rais Alim, Vic Pasillas. And then we open the night with Raleigh Romero taking on Justin Paldo. So, folks, we will see you January 23rd. It's Leo, the champ, against Fulton. We'll see you then. Have a great afternoon.